Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017 with the Rude Man. Today, we're going to take a look at a very special map made for and with the help of a remarkable young man. His name was Joran, and his wish was to learn how to mod and make his very own farm map. Now, he knew he needed help with this, so he reached out to a successful mod author by the name of Maverick74. And Maverick was more than willing to help Joran with this project. And for the better part of a year, Maverick and Joran worked almost daily, putting the elements into the map that Joran envisioned. Sadly, Joran passed away before he and Maverick could complete the map. Maverick continued on to work and finish the map as Joran would have wanted it. I can only imagine how difficult and heart-wrenching this task would have been without Joran there by his side. So now, join me in taking a first look at Joran's farm. We're going to start our tour here at this bulletin board that represents Joran's Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven was one of his favorite songs. And there's a little bit of a memorial park here for him. And we're going to go up these stairs and see what else we've got to look at. There's a few more bulletin boards up here. Very nicely done. This place is a place to remember Joran, a 14-year-old kid that lost his fight against cancer. This map I was building for him and with him. It was his dream to have his own map. He always stayed positive no matter what. He is an example for many of us. His favorite song was Stairway to Heaven from Led Zeppelin. Please take the time to listen to the song at YouTube and remember a great kid. You can follow the lyrics here. If you follow the stairs to the top, you can see the mourning card he created himself. That's how strong he really was. He's gone to heaven, but he's never forgotten. There's the lyrics to Stairway to Heaven. A tribute to Joran. Rest in peace, my friend. Let's continue up. I think there's more up. It's very peaceful up here. You can hear the birds chirping and all the green growing trees. We'll start off on the left side here. Joran, 2003 to 2018. He wrote this himself. Do not mourn me. I am walking on the stairway to heaven. I will be with my mother soon. My mother was alone for so long. Now I will be with her. Do not mourn me. The stairway to heaven is not the highway to hell. Make some of your life and enjoy every day. Sometimes when you look up, then laugh and wave, because I wave back. Joran. A tree has felled with long green locks. He sighed, rustling like a child, while he fell, still full of summer wind. Joran, 24 August 2003, 28 May 2018. We say goodbye with pain in our hearts from our dear son and brother. We comfort ourselves with all the beautiful memories and thank you for your support. Now, I have to admit that I had to read that several times because I could not do it without a tear falling. And I hope you don't mind, but occasionally you're probably going to hear my voice break as I do this. Now, I like to use a helicopter because if you look, as you're looking around, you don't really get to see the big scope of what you're looking at. It's easier to see it from the sky. So I'm going to use the helicopter to fly around. I always do that. And then we take a look at individual things, elements of the map that may be important. But before we start, I want to show you something that Maverick has added to the map that will help you in your enjoyment and playthrough of this map. Maverick has included an equipment list of the equipment that comes with the map and the purpose that it's to be used for. So you might want to take a look at this before you actually start your gameplay. It's very handy. This is the next thing that's been included, and I love this. This is very handy. It's very graphical. It gives you an overview of the map and points out some of the more interesting things here. Tells you what the buildables are, where the buyables are. You have mining, what the map has in store for you. And as you go down, you can find that it's very inclusive of a lot of information. Very few maps come with anything like this, so this is very, very well done. I encourage you to look for this when you unzip the folder that the map comes in, and keep it handy because it's going to be a big help to you. As you can see, there's a lot going on this map. Now, I found this interesting. There's a lot of production on a lot of different maps, and a lot of times you don't really know what it takes to produce what you want to get out of it. As you see here, each thing is listed. The absolute buildable takes concrete. You put in steel pipe, drywall, steel, concrete block, and the output is you get a building. You get production out of this, and this goes on. You can see each one is like this. We'll see this more in the map, and I'll go through it. But it's very interesting. This is going to be so handy for you. So again, I encourage you to make sure you download this. And it is included in the folder that the map comes in. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the map. I'm going to jump in my helicopter here. We're going to take a flyby before we get into some of the details. Okay, we're going to begin our tour heading on the west coast here and head north and just take a look what we've got. Got a little bit of a village here, it looks like. It's always nice to see a nice little village on the farm. It makes it look more like a hometown. You can see that the monument area is pretty good size. So let's head west here. It's got an extensive highway system, it looks like. And I'm glad to see that he put in a roundabout that's actually big enough you can drive around. So I'm not going to go down and look at the individual production as yet. I'm just going to do a flyby so you can get an idea how big the map is, what the fields look like, and how the buildings are situated. So we're just going to do a quick flyby. Looks like the railroad train goes all the way around. I kind of like how they made the trestles up. That's kind of nice. It looks like the fields are pretty good size. If we look at the complete map, you can see that they are by no means all square or rectangular. There are some individual fields that have some distinctive shapes to them. That's certainly a big field right there. Now, as we're flying over, you're going to see and recognize, some of you that play these maps as much as I do, some of the production area. Obviously, we've got fruit trees down below us here. There is so much production on this map. there would be plenty of things for you to do to keep you busy. I do also like the terrain. It's kind of nice to have a map that's not completely flat. It always adds an element to things. These are greenhouses, obviously. So you've got your fruits and vegetables. Yeah, as we're flying over these buildings, you can see that they're all some form of production. Got some tenement houses below. Looks like some motels or apartment buildings. And again, I'm just going to take a tour around the edge of the farm, and then we'll go into the center, take a look at that, and then we'll start looking at some individual things of interest. Some large factories here. Well, I'll tell you what, some of the fields are just very large. Campbell's soup. Oh, nothing like a good can of soup. We're going to come through the middle in a minute. I want to go to the edges like I explained. Now this map does have, if you notice when we looked at the list of production things, there is a quarry. And you can make cement. You can also make steel. That's going to be handy. And I'll show you why when we start looking at the individual elements of the map. Look at all the work that went into this. Unbelievable. It's just extraordinary detail. I've known about this map for a while now, and I've been so anxious to play it. I have to say, I feel completely honored to be one of the few YouTubers that was selected to do a review of this map. Now you see some of the elements of the map include a river that goes all the way through, pretty much. And there is a ferry, I don't know if you noticed that, in the equipment list. That's going to come in handy because I think there's pretty much the only way to get your equipment across a river is by taking it on a ferry. Now as you were flying over there, over the map, you'll notice that there's some large areas that look like they have nothing in them. Now, if I was on any other map, I would make the comment that, oh my goodness, he's left a lot of places for you to put placeable things. If you're thinking that, as I was when I first looked at the map, you're going to be surprised at what those empty spaces are. So, I pretty much went around the map. Let's just kind of run through the river here, and you'll notice there's no bridges. There is a train bridge, train trestle, but there's no bridges to get from this side of the river to that. You're going to need the ferry, and you'll see it below here. There's the ferry right there. You're going to need that to get across the bridge with your equipment. And again, the reason why I like to use the helicopter is if you look at the terrain, you just can't get a scope for that. if you're at ground level. And so I like to use a helicopter, kind of fly around, so you can really get a good look at what the map really entails. Again, notice the river. There is that a railroad? That's a railroad. So there is no road that I can see. Well, maybe this is. Let's see what this is. I don't think it's usable. I think it's a road under construction. Notice it's blocked off. Or is that a tunnel? You know what? We're going to have to look at that. I'm not sure because it looks like it's a train or something goes under there. But, yeah, so it's interesting. You're going to have to use a ferry to get around. Not everything can be easy. All right, so let's head over to where you start. So let's start our ground tour here at Joran's farm. This is your main farm area, and we're gonna go through these gates and take a look and see what our farm looks like. Start it off here. It looks like we've got animal pens. This appears to be goats. I've not played a map that had goats on it before, so this might be a little bit interesting. So you got your feeding troughs and stuff like there. We'll check that out when we actually play the game. Let's just take a quick look at what we've got on the farm. We've got chickens for laying eggs, and they're not free roaming. Some people like the free roaming chickens. I don't. I like them penned up, and I also like them away from the house because they make a lot of noise. So let's see what else we got here. It looks like we've got some. I believe these are probably storage rooms for equipment, and that's what it appears to be, garages. Let's see here. We've got some. What are they? Sheep. So there's a sheep pen there. This, I believe, is where you get your straw. Once the I'm sorry. This is where you get your wool, so pretty sure that that's what this is. Yep, wool pallets will go over there. Once you get your sheep going and they start producing wool. You got your huge slurry tank here, and it does say slurry storage, do not enter toxic gas. So don't stand too near with a lit cigar, I guess. Here is your cattle barn. Once you start getting cattle, you've got your silage troughs here, or I call them bunkers. Some people call them clamps. And then there's your pasture for your cattle. These cattle are for milking. There's your straw barn. You've got storage over here for round bales, grass bales. You got hay bales, and you've got what else? I missed one down here. Straw bales. Right. So, and here's your storage for your farm. And it looks like they're big enough to hold quite a bit of your crops. So that is handy. Speaking of crops, let's take a look. Now you can see them here on the board here, but let's just go in and take a look this way. This will tell us what our crops are. Pretty easy. You got your basic crops that come with every map right here, down to the sugar cane. On the next page, we have specialty crops. We have oats, spelt, millet, hops, red cabbage, hemp, rye, triticale, onion, lettuce, carrots, and cotton. We have cabbage. So those are your crops. This is pretty much the main farm. You can store your equipment here. You grow your animals. You store your crops. Make your seeds. Make your fertilizer. You can have fuel. So must be a refinery on the map someplace where you can make your own fuel and save some money on harvesting costs. Let's jump to the next area. I'm just going to work my way around the map and take a look at what we've got. These are specialty animals, and if you notice when we get close to the gate, they are blocked off. The gates are blocked off. Now, we've got a couple of things on this map. I'll show you this one first, and we'll show you another one in a minute here. But what this means is, if this is blocked off, it means that you actually have to purchase this animal farm. So when you're starting to make lots of money on your farm selling products, you can expand your business and purchase a duck or a goose farm right here. Buy goose breeding. So FS Money Buttoner. I don't know what that means, but we'll figure that out when we start playing the map. But you can buy the goose breeding if you have the money, and then these barriers will go away, and you'll be able to come in here and raise geese. And we'll go down the line. There's a bunch of them here. I believe we've got rabbits also, and so let's run. Whoa, whoa! My boots are too fast. There's rabbits over there, I think, and I don't know what's in here. Yeah, there's the rabbits next to the geese. What else have we got? Let me jump over that. I think there's another one here. I'm not quite sure what this one is. Oh, we can go in here. Straw bale storage. What do we have? Okay, we've got chickens. We can grow chickens for breeding purposes and meat purposes. And that's what this is. So, what's next door? There's a pro ag next door. So, yeah, as you start making money on the farm and you want to expand your empire, you can start purchasing other businesses to do. I can't get over that barrier. So, here is a pro ag. You can make fertilizer from different products or byproducts that you may have in your on your farm from growing crops and stuff. It takes compost and liquid fertilizer. It makes liquid fertilizer. I think it takes compost and it makes fertilizer and liquid fertilizer. It may take something else too I'm not aware of, but we'll check that out later. Now, one of the ways to expand your empire is to purchase more farming areas like the animal husbandry. Let me show you one of those things that we flew over, and I told you at first look, I thought it was an area to put things that you want to place in the farm yourself. They are not. Let me show you one of those. Let's see. It doesn't matter which one. Let me go to this one down here. Now this is interesting. I've never played a map like this before, so we got to find out what this is all about. If you remember when I flew over these big empty places, I said, "Oh, that looks like something where you could add placeables." I was wrong. That's not what it is. What it is a factory of some kind, and they're all over the farm. But you notice there's nothing there, just a big empty lot. Well, that means what you have to do is you have to go to the quarry and you have to make concrete blocks and bring them here. And then you make steel, and you make shelves, and you make boards, and you make concrete, and you bring all of that over here, and this place goes to work. The hired workers, engineers, and building workers, and all kinds of carpenters, all that kind of stuff, they're going to come in and they're going to start building a factory here. So, isn't that interesting? I've never played a map that did that before. I have played a map that you could buy a factory that was already installed on the map, but I've never played a map where you actually have to build the building. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Okay, we can make barrels here. If you remember, there's certain places that take barrels. If we start making alcohol, sometimes they need barrels. Behind the closed gate here, we've got shelves, so we can use our lumber that we cut down and make shelves and barrels here. Wood chips. It looks like some kind of building place. What, I don't know for sure, but we'll look here and see. Pallets. Okay, so this is a pallet factory. Just like the other one, it makes pallets and boards. Now, both of those things are going to be handy. We need them for construction purposes, but we also need them for making pallets. That's what the boards are. So you make the boards, and the boards will go over there and make pallets. So that's this is a pallet factory. And then it looks like we've got some kind of a warehouse here. Now the warehouses are interesting because as you make your if you make your products and things, for the most part, when you first start farming, you need to sell products because you need the money to operate, because you don't start with a whole lot. That $2 million up above probably represents the fact that you start this without any equipment. Some farms, when you start them, you have all the equipment you need to get started and no money. In this case, you have a little bit of money and no equipment, so you can buy your own equipment. But this appears to be a warehouse where once you have initially made some money and you produce some products and you want to store them until there's a great demand on them. And a great demand in this game means that there's a great demand on the product and there's a special price on it, and that special price stays for the duration of that great demand. Normally, if you sell a product, you flood the market with it and the price comes down. What do we have here? Okay, so we can do wood chips here, and we have a sawmill here. So a place that we can bring our logs once we've done it. There's epoxy coatings. That is new. I don't know what that is, but it must be something that we're going to need in the building process maybe. And paper. Interesting. Jumping over to the northwest, we have our fruit trees, our orchards that you can create. Cherries and peaches and pears, oh my. Another crop to sell. And that's what all of this is. It looks like there's quite a bit of it. So let's look at the map here. Okay, one thing it does not show. So this whole north area here is fruit. But let me see what that is over that way. What is all of this? All right, here we go. Now, these machines are for washing potatoes. So bring your potatoes in here. You can wash them. Over here, looks like a compost maker. Yeah, compost maker. It also, you can make seeds here, it looks like. Anything else? So at some point on this map, it looks like you're going to be able to make potato chips and things like that. And what you'd have to do is have washed potatoes for that. So that's what this place is. Now, looking at the map, when I jump between the northeast and the northwest, I bypassed this strip in the middle. Now, we did see this on our air flight around the map. This is all of your vegetables. And again, it looks like you have to purchase the business. I think this one is cauliflower. I think that one's cauliflower. Let's see, we had all kinds of vegetables, but this whole strip here is all of your vegetables, and it looks like you have to buy each one individually. So you need to decide which one you want to do first. You want to do cabbage or tomatoes or whatever, but that's what all of this is all of your greenhouses. Interesting. And there's a place for you to get all your supplies and stuff. You get seed storage and fertilizer storage in purple. Whoa, that's bright. Liquid fertilizer is purple, evidently. Blue is for water. And so that's what this is. Let's pop across the street here and see what this is all about. Oh, it's a hotel. Okay. This is that big turnaround we saw. All right, well, let's continue on. Right along this off-ramp here, we do see the central livestock sale point. This is where you would bring your livestock for sale. Looks like it's got a little bit of a stadium there for auctions. And so you're selling your animals here that you have, your breeding animals. Now you do have, on the main farm, you have animals that produce. Cows produce milk, sheep produce wool, the pigs produce more pigs, and you sell them. There are other places where you can grow breeding animals, where you sell them for meat. and also just sell them for profit. This is where you would bring those items. And it looks like you're bringing everything here. Geese, goats, chickens, horses. Horses? They've got horses up there. All of those items come here. So that's what this area is. On the map, you'll see where I'm blinking green. What we're looking at here is a railroad storage. And it looks like we've actually got crops in here. So we've actually got crops in here that we can pick up from the railroad and take them around to wherever we want to take them using the railway system. That's a lot of storage. I haven't looked at the railway system yet. They're usually pretty basic. But this is interesting. Let me see here. So it looks like this is where you would bring your trucks in. You would dump your grain in here. It goes in there. And I'm guessing that you can actually take it back out by truck if you want to, or you can take it out by train, either one. That's what it appears to look like. So it's just basically a huge storage unit. Pretty sweet. And at this location we have Duvel. Is that what that sign says over there? Duvel. It's a beer factory, it looks like. And again, you have to purchase it. Another way to expand your empire. So what it takes is, let's take a look if I can get over this. Come on, I can do it. No, I can't do it. Can I do it? There we go. All right, what it takes is, it takes hops, and it takes barley, and it takes water, and I guess it makes beer. Now, interestingly enough, over here is where you would pick up your finished product. But what is this? Sugar and pallets. So do we need sugar in the process also? It must be, otherwise why would there be sugar there? Anyway, there you go. Be your own brewery. Just down the road from the last brewery we find Jupiter. I think that's also a beer place, and it looks similar to the one we just saw. It takes corn. This may not be beer. This might be hard liquor. Or not. Nope, it still takes hops, still takes barley and water and Jupiter beer. Pallets. But what is this over here? Corn. I didn't know you made beer out of corn. I was thinking it was a still. Now this is another area that I showed you on our flight over the map. I'm jumping around the map and showing you some of the highlighted businesses. There's a lot of stuff on the map that's in almost every map, and I don't have a lot of time to show you everything. If I did, I'd be here for a couple hours. This map has got that much stuff on it, and it's that big. So this is the soup factory. I didn't see a for sale sign on it. There's no construction to be had on it. So I'm not entirely sure. I think you can probably just start using it. You've got, what? What does that say? Cream. Campbell's cream, water. We've got potato flour. Interesting. And we've got onions, and we've got mushrooms. Where did we get the mushrooms? And we've got tomatoes. So one of the vegetable farms must be mushrooms. And then we've got pallets and the different kinds of soup, evidently. Sweet. So this is not a factory you have to buy. This is one you can use after you purchase the vegetable greenhouses. Okay, inland a little bit from the East Coast, we're looking at Henny's Pizza. Let's check this out. Again, this is not for sale. It looks like you can use this to make use of some of the products that you're growing. We've got water here. We've got cream here. So we're going to have dairy cows for some of this stuff. What else do we have over here? Sunflower, oil. So we're going to have to produce cooking oil. And let's see what else we might need. Over here we need mushrooms. Mushrooms go on pizza. Pallets over there. Because the products that you make are going to go on pallets to store and to sell. We've got ground beef for the meat lovers pizza. Chicken breast. We've got potato flour. Again, no, wait. That's not potato flour. That's wheat flour. So we have wheat flour to make your pizzas. So, yeah, this you don't have to buy either. You can just use this once you start producing. At this location, we have a butcher shop and deli since 1960. And it looks like we can bring our products from our animals here and make other products. The slaughterhouse. Okay, so we bring our animals here. And we're going to be producing pepperoni and steak and ground beef. And you drop your animals off, and they take care of the ugly work for you. You can make bacon, ham, and sausage. Those are the things that you would take rabbit meat and goose meat. These are some of the things you take over to the pizza parlor to make your meat lovers pizza. Chicken wings, chicken legs, and chicken breasts. Very good. And again, you don't have to purchase this one. You just have to produce the products. Now, further down to the southwest, we find our sunflower vegetable oil factory here. And so you bring your sunflowers in, you drop them off, and you pick up your oil, I believe, around the corner here. So that's where you pick up your oil. You have to have a tanker for this. But that's where you get your vegetable oil for some of the products that, or machines that take vegetable oil. And it also evidently does take water. Water's a precious commodity on a farm for more than one reason. Animals, minerals, vegetables. And here we have a French fry factory, McCain's French fry factory. Bring your potatoes in here and drop them off. This drop of water here represents that these are washed potatoes, and you need salt. So I'm wondering if you don't get some salt from, I don't know, because I've not ever used a map that had salt on it. I'm not quite sure where you get the salt, but maybe you get it from mining. We'll find out when we start playing the map. There's your sunflower oil that you need to make the French fries. And, of course, you're going to need pallets, I believe. I don't see a pallet. Compost. All right, so, hey, you bring your potatoes here, and one of the byproducts is compost. That's always handy. I don't see a place for pallets, so I'm not quite sure how the potato chips come out. There are some factories that make their own pallets. There are other factories that you have to actually log lumber and make your own pallets. This could be one that provides its own. Okay, we're back on the East Coast, only southern area. And here we have three different kinds of factories in a row here. One's a winery. And so you produce wine in this one. I'm assuming it works kind of the same as the beer ones because it looks identical. Over here we've got a donut factory. Now these again appear have to be purchased. These factories, you can't just use them; you have to purchase them. So you're going to be a magnate, a rich man on this farm within no time. This one takes quite a bit of stuff. I've made donuts before. They do take quite a bit of stuff. They take sugar and flour. They take, what else do they take? Sugar, flour. They take eggs, I believe. There's your eggs. So you have to grow eggs. There's where you load your donuts. It takes water. It takes milk. And it takes sunflower oil. And you need all of that. There's the sugar. You need all of that to make a donut. There's such delicious stuff in a donut, right? All right, and then here is where you make your coffee once you grow your beans. So there's where you start your own your own coffee business. There's the quarry down south there. Again, we're moving west in the southern area of the map. We are across the river from on the south side of the map. And this is where you would bring your fruit. So you've got sunflower oil, and you bring some of your pallets over here, and you can make coleslaw. Vegetables. Did I say fruits? I'm sorry, I meant vegetables. So you got cauliflower, you got your red cabbage, you got your carrots, your lettuce, I believe, or cabbage, and salt. And then over here, again, water, pallets. We've got salad mix, and we have, I think this is the lettuce. That over there must have been cabbage. Carrots, onions, and salt. And you make salad. So, interesting. Over here, again, water, pallets. We've got a fruit salad. So we can make coleslaw, we can make salad, we can make... Now this fruit salad has fruit in it. So you've got pears, you've got apples, I believe, cherries, oranges, plums, and grapes. So if you don't want to make wine, you want to make some, evidently, fruit salad, there you go. Got a place to do that. This buyable area here is a potato washer. Now you did see that some things require washed potatoes. This is where you would bring your potatoes to wash them. And again, it's a place that you're going to have to purchase. Interestingly enough, one of the things that would happen early on in farming is you'd find a map that had a lot of production on it, as far as the growing of crops and growing of animals, but you couldn't do anything with them. So what you ended up doing was growing a lot of crops and selling them. So you seed the fields, you fertilize the fields, you harvest the fields, you sell the crops, you plow, you fertilize, you seed, you sell the crops. It's fun to have a map where you can actually do things with the products that you grow. I don't know what this area is. Let's take a look. Free water. Not quite sure what this is. I didn't see any sign, but I was talking. Fuel storage output. Fuel storage input. Fill your what? Fill your seeder here. All right. So seeds. Fill your seeder here. Fill your fertilizer here. Okay, so this is probably a place where you can bring your equipment when you're on the south side and you're working your fields over here, and you can get your fuel, your fertilizer, and your seeds and stuff for your tractors and combines and farm equipment. At this location is a place for you to bring your fish. There must be a fish hatchery on the map, and usually at the fish hatchery, you take corn and water, and that's what feeds the fish. The fish grow. You can take them, and there's a couple of different things you can do with them. There should be a caviar factory. If you see that there, you can see the caviar. So you can make caviar, and you can make fish and sell it. So there must be a hatchery someplace here on the map. All right, so I'm down in the south part of the map, kind of central south, and there's a lot of production down here. There's a lot of factory. There's your concrete solutions. So when you get done with your quarry and you have all your stuff, you can bring it in here, and you can make concrete or concrete blocks, it looks like, for your construction of buildings. We've got a lot of things close by here. Let's see, I see a Coca-Cola sign. What is this over here? Pallets. Cold glue, wood glue. Okay, so that's probably for more construction. So paper, wood glue, water. Aha! This is where you make your drywall. Alright, so you bring your products that you make, like paper you have to make, the wood glue you have to make, and your pallets, and you can make drywall for your construction. Sweet. So more construction. There's a Lay's potato chip place. I saw the sign. What do we have here? This is your Lay's potato chips, but it looks like... Now wait a minute. That might not be Lay's potato chips. I'm not quite sure what this is, but it's another area that you're going to have to bring concrete, steel pipe, curbstone, steel, and concrete blocks and build the factory. So interesting. I can't wait to play this map and do some of that construction. Because as I said earlier, I got real tired of just farming all the time. Just farming, selling crops and not being able to do anything with it. And what have we here? Lime, ore, and coal. Okay. Is this where you make your steel, maybe? Tim Hoffman, structural steel. So this is where you make your steel pipe and your steel and stuff like that for construction. There's our Lay's potato chip place. How do we get in there? Is it here? Very colorful. Eat all you want. They'll make more. We have cheese and tomatoes. What? What are they doing with that? They're making nacho cheese potato chips or something? Interesting. I don't see anything down here. What do we have here? Obviously, we have steamed potatoes here. Need that. We need pallets there. Bacon, onions, garlic, onion, potato chips. Sweet. More steamed potatoes go here, and it doesn't say here what this is. This must be a pickup point for Lay's potato chips. And again, cheese, onion. These are natural. These are... What? Ketchup? Lay's ketchup. Interesting. And these are... I can't see it. Bacon? Bacon bit? I don't know what that was. Had something to do with bacon, though. Sunflower oil, we've got your salt that goes there, and your coal. Okay, this factory takes coal to operate. So another reason to mine. Man, there's too much stuff to do. I don't know how we're ever going to get done. And farm at the same time. Now, I'm quite sure we haven't seen everything on the map. I tried to show you some of the things that you just don't see on other maps. And so I'm afraid that I don't know anything about the quarry. I've never done that before. And we flew over the quarry, and I showed you that. But I don't think there's anything I can add to how it works until I actually play the game, unfortunately. And I think I'm going to end the tour here. I hope you all enjoy this map, and I would encourage you all to play it as I'm going to. And that is by playing like Joran is sitting beside me in the tractor, because in my heart, I know he is. Until next time, happy farming.